It's Friday, October 6th, 2023, and this is the Washington Times front page. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. President Biden says that he has no choice but to build a new border wall because his hands are tied by congressional laws appropriating money to be spent on construction. Stephen Dinan reports the president said he fought to erase the money from the budget but failed and had a deadline set in law. The Congressional Accountability Office said the president could delay construction to study how best to comply with the law, but couldn't refuse to spend the funding altogether. The 2019 appropriations law set aside $1.3 billion for wall construction and a deadline set for this year. On Wednesday, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas declared an immediate need to build more border walls and roads. He issued an order waiving 26 laws to speed up construction. Former President Trump has endorsed House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan of Ohio to succeed Kevin McCarthy as Speaker of the House. S.A. Miller and Alex Miller report Jordan, a founder of the House Freedom Caucus, has received a slew of endorsements from lawmakers since publicly confirming his bid to replace McCarthy. Since McCarthy lost the gavel, the House has been in recess following an abrupt dismissal ordered by Acting Speaker Patrick McHenry of North Carolina. Before Trump made his social media post about Jordan, Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene had said she wanted to see Trump himself as Speaker. Greene said on social media that she intended to nominate the former president for the Speaker's race during the upcoming GOP conference meeting next week. The Speaker of the House does not have to be a member of the House of Representatives. The summer of strikes has extended into fall, creating a ripple effect in the economy. Jeff Murdoch reports the number of workers on strike this year is the highest since 1986, and it's growing. More than 75,000 Kaiser Permanente employees walked off the job earlier this week. Union representatives called it the largest strike of healthcare workers in U.S. history. The strikes have taken a toll on the economy. Economic consulting firm Anderson Economic Group estimates that the United Auto Workers strike has caused $1.2 billion in direct losses for Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis. The work stoppage has also led to $325 million in direct wages lost and $1.29 billion in supplier losses. The National Zoo's 3 giant pandas are set to return to China in early December, with no public signs that the 50-year-old exchange agreement struck by President Nixon will continue. The Associated Press reports National Zoo officials have remained tight-lipped about the prospects of renewing or extending the agreement, and repeated attempts to gain comment on the state of the negotiations didn't receive a response. The public stance of the National Zoo has been decidedly pessimistic. The zoo is treating these remaining months as the end of an era, and has finished a week-long celebration called Pandapalooza, a giant farewell. The San Diego Zoo returned its pandas in 2019, and the last bear at the Memphis Zoo went home earlier this year. The departure of the bears at the National Zoo would mean the only giant pandas left in the United States are at the Atlanta Zoo, and that loan agreement expires late next year. And finally, New York Attorney General Letitia James is taking on the satirical Babylon Bee to defend the state's hate speech law. Valerie Richardson reports the satirical website has filed a friend of the court brief contending that the 2022 hateful conduct law regulates almost nothing but constitutionally protected speech. The law was enacted in reaction to the 2022 mass shooting in Buffalo, but the conservative group Alliance Defending Freedom said the measure goes beyond hate speech and encompasses satire and humor. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in any major podcast app. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. The Washington Times. I'm George Gerbo.